Ancient hallways breathed in silence beneath cathedral-colored skies. London never noticed power hidden behind scholarly eyes. Dust collected on the blackboards, Latin echoes filled the room. Young men spoke of laws and numbers, never sensing quiet doom. Leather books and chalk equations, candles trembling after dusk. Every theorem on the table carried something dangerous. While professors praised his brilliance and the papers knew his name, nobody could hear the darkness growing softly in his brain. The professor nobody suspected walked alone through London rain, building empires out of whispers far beyond ambition's name. The professor nobody suspected never needed swords or guns, only patience, only silence, only calculations done. Velvet evenings near the river, students vanished into night. But inside the aging lecture halls, he remained beneath the light. A mind sharper than the winter, cold enough to shape the stars. Every sentence sounded harmless while he studied human hearts. No fury, no disgrace, only stillness hiding carefully behind a pale, expressionless face. Soon the city learned too late. Some men never chased dominion, they simply learned to orchestrate. The professor nobody suspected, London sleeping unaware, while invisible foundations quietly appeared everywhere. Numbers drifted through the lamplight like constellations carved in ink. Every pattern held a doorway far beyond what men could think. Silent chambers near Bloomsbury, pages laid on the floor. Rows of figures formed a language no one understood before. Bankers, smugglers, crooked barristers moved exactly as designed. Every theft became a function inside an unforgiving mind. Not through savagery or impulse, not through bitterness or greed, but precision born from order and a terrifying creed. The mathematics of crime, every movement synchronized, every secret, every fortune measured carefully in lines. The mathematics of crime, human weakness quantified, destiny reduced to symbols, and probabilities aligned. Midnight ledges near the fireplace, train schedules pinned beside the wall. Every empire leaves a rhythm for observe and dies to solve. He abandoned moral borders like unnecessary weight, seeing kingdoms as equations balanced perfectly by fate. No chaos, no mistake, only sequences unfolding for advantage to create. The mathematics of crime, London bent beneath the scheme, invisible arithmetic controlling every hidden stream. The mathematics of crime, no cathedral bell could warn that beneath respectable society a darker science had been born. Beneath the lantern glow of London, invisible threads began to spread through narrow taverns, silent harbors, and whispered names among the dead. Dockyard gamblers, jewel smugglers, politicians bought with gold. Every corridor of influence slowly entered his control. Messenger boys crossed frozen alleys, delivering coded demands, while aristocrats at opera houses never noticed hidden hands. No throne, no crown, yet the city turned around him without understanding how. The spider at the center, watching empires intertwine, every secret crossing London eventually became his line. The spider at the center, never rushing, never loud, only shadows growing deeper beneath the unsuspecting crowd. Private clubs near Piccadilly, velvet curtains, crystal smoke, Railway tunnels carried fortunes hidden inside harmless coats. Even Scotland Yard grew anxious, rumors spreading after dark about a figure never witnessed, leaving fingerprints on none. One movement, 10 reactions. One whisper, changed directions. The spider at the center built a kingdom out of fear, invisible but ever present, stretching far beyond the pier. The spider at the center, London dancing on his strings, while beneath the sleeping city he orchestrated everything. Footsteps vanished near the river, steel-grey dusk across the lane. London whispered of a marksman who never needed to explain. Former hunter of the Highlands, decorated long ago, now he wandered through the gaslight where respectable men won't go. Tailored coats beneath the moonbeams, ivory gloves against the cold. Every contract brought another name the newspapers never told. No mercy, no disguise, only instinct sharp and slowly behind exhausted predator eyes. Colonel Moran, ghost inside the avenue, every shadow knew his presence before the trigger ever moved. Colonel Moran, faithful servant of the night, silent as a winter rifle, hidden far beyond the light. Private balconies in Mayfair, whiskey burning after dusk, railway smoke around the station, foreign gold exchanged in trust. He obeyed without discussion, never questioning commands, while the city feared the rumors of an unseen gentleman. One heartbeat, one direction, one distant silhouette, removed without detection. Colonel Moran, London trembled at the name, not from rage or revolution, but precision without shame. Colonel Moran, still remembered after years as the hunter stalking quietly through the empire built by fear.
Street lamps flickered near the harbor. Carriages dissolved in haze. London buried countless stories inside ordinary days. A banker stumbled near the stairwell, broken watch beside his hand. Morning headlines called it tragic. No one questioned what was planned. Opera singers missed departures. Politicians disappeared. River currents carried secrets far from anyone who cared. No warnings, no alarms, only silence drifting softly through the city's folded arms. Accidents in the fog, every incident arranged. Lives collapsing without witness while the skyline stayed unchanged. Accidents in the fog, names forgotten one by one. Nothing violent ever visible, nothing proving what was done. Midnight barges crossed the Thames tide, locked beneath cathedral mist. Foreign diplomats grew nervous after certain names were missed. Doctors signed their careful papers, judges closed another file. Yet invisible orchestration waited calmly all the while. One loose brick, one dark crossing, one wrong carriage, never stopping. Accidents in the fog, London sleeping undisturbed, while beneath the gaslit avenues every outcome had been learned. Accidents in the fog, no confession left behind, only whispers growing colder inside an engineered design. Copper wires beneath the rooftops carried whispers through the rain. Every station across Europe moved according to his game. Vienna waiting for instructions, Paris trembling after dusk, Berlin trading coded messages hidden underneath the trust. Clerks translated silent orders, stamped in ink no court could trace, while ambassadors at banquets smiled beside a dangerous face. No armies, no flags, only information drifting through invisible telegraphs. Telegrams after midnight, crossing borders without sound, every secret changing hands before the morning bells resound. Telegrams after midnight, every empire tied by thread, while the sleeping world remained beneath the network he had spread. Private rail cars crossed the mountains, locked dispatches in their case. Royal councils lost direction after certain files were erased. Nobody could map the structure, nobody could stop the chain. Every answer reached him first through the arteries of trains. Telegrams after midnight, London listening in the dark, as a hidden constellation quietly connected every part. Telegrams after midnight, no cathedral could compete with the coded pulse of Europe, moving softly through the streets. For years the city moved in silence, perfectly beneath control, until a distant violin echoed somewhere London couldn't hold. Newspapers arrived each morning, marked with patterns far too clear. Someone followed every pathway, someone dangerous had appeared. Through abandoned stations, courtrooms, hidden ledgers, vanished names, a solitary mind was tracing every fragment of the game. No panic, no fear, only fascination growing for the first time in many years. The man from Baker Street saw the web behind the stone, every corridor of power, every signal overthrown. The man from Baker Street moved beneath the gaslight skies, like a shadow built from logic, searching deeply through the lies. inside candlelit apartments. Maps were scattered on the floor, while across the sleeping city, doors began to slowly close.
No assassin caused concern now. No detective seemed the threat. Only one relentless presence
Moriarty couldn't predict.
The man from Baker Street
changed the rhythm of the night to minds circling each other just beyond the public eye. The man from Baker Street was the first to truly see that behind respectable London waited something vast and unseen. Cathedrals vanished into midnight, river lights beneath the haze, London breathing through the darkness like a kingdom set ablaze. Parliament behind the curtains, judges dining unaware. Every fortune in the city moved because I placed it there. Docklands answered without question. Private railways cross the land. Every corridor of influence turned according to my hand. No rebellion, no parade, only power growing quietly inside the empire that I made. London belongs to me. Every rooftop, every flame, every whisper through the alleyways eventually became my name. London belongs to me. Every secret kept alive, every heartbeat of the city moved because I so designed. Opera halls and velvet chambers, foreign ministers in line, even noble families trembled without understanding why. Scotland Yard chased fading shadows while the network stretched unseen. No cathedral bell could challenge what existed in between. London belongs to me. moonlight falling through the smoke. Every corner of the skyline bent beneath the words I spoke. London belongs to me, still the silence carried doubt. For somewhere deep in Baker Street, another mind had figured out. Alpine thunder through the mountains, frozen air beneath the storm. Two silhouettes beside the abyss, where legends finally transform. Telegrams or empires, no more corridors to own. Only roaring water echoing against the jagged stone. Every calculation shattered, every hidden thread undone, as the hunter and the architect faced what they had both become. No witnesses, only destiny suspended above unforgiving drops. Reichenbach Falls, where the heavens split apart. Two extraordinary shadows standing at the edge of dark. Reichenbach Falls, every secret left behind. Only thunder knew the ending of the greatest battle of minds. Consume the final silence, clouds erase the distant trail. No cathedral could remember what the mountains chose to veil. One last movement near the precipice, one last glance beneath the rain. Then the waters swallowed history, never speaking it again. Reichenbach Falls, neither victory nor defeat. Only legends disappearing where the storm and darkness meet. Reichenbach Falls, still the world recalls the sound of two brilliant souls colliding before vanishing underground. London breathed beneath the moonlight, as though nothing never changed. Yet the silence carried remnants of a system still arranged. Empty chambers near the river, candles dying one by one, whispers moving through the city long after the war was done. Railway stations kept receiving unsigned messages at dawn. Foreign bankers still grew nervous, though the architect was gone. No throne remains, no face survives, yet the machinery beneath the streets continues still alive. The empire without a king still survives beneath the stone. Every corridor remembers what was carefully sown. The empire without a king, no cathedral stopped the spread. Even shadows kept obeying long after their master bled. Scotland Yard searched empty ledgers, finding nothing left behind. Only fragments of a network too enormous to unwind. Somewhere distant violins echoed through the fog above the Thames, as though London itself remembered the shape of forgotten men. The empire without a king still controls the midnight air. Invisible foundations lingering quietly everywhere. The empire without a king never vanished with the fall, for the darkest kinds of power outlive the men who built them all.